Hello, and welcome to Rites of Passage for Humanities. So, we learned about rituals yesterday, or, close to yesterday, and talked about the importance that those kind of play in society. So, today's lesson is about a special kind of ritual called a rite of passage. And that's where we're going to start. What is the relationship between a rite of passage and a ritual? Well, the word rite actually means ritual. So, what is a rite of passage? First, it's one kind of ritual. A rite of passage is one kind of ritual, a ritual of passage. But what does passage mean? Passage means that you start as one thing, and by the end of the ritual, you are something else. So, you were, um, say, not married, and now you are married, or you were not a Catholic and now you are a Catholic, or you were a student and now you're an alumnus. So that's what a rite of passage is. You move from one to the other. Now I'm going to give you a whole ton of examples. A birth ceremony, of course, brings you into the world. Baptism brings a person into a religion. Graduation, I just mentioned, takes you from being a student to being an alumnus, which is the singular of alumni. Uh, Birthday celebration, like especially if you're talking about big years like 16 or 18 or 21, like 18, you're not an adult and then you are. Or 21, you weren't really an adult, you just thought you were, and now you're an adult. So we go on weddings, start not married to married. They do first child events, there's retirement events, there's, of course, funerals. So, what do these do? Well, rites of passage have three-step separate stages. So I'm going to give you some of these. One of the ones from the Shoshone. At the beginning of his journey into adulthood, the adulthood rite of passage, the young Shoshone man would go off on his own. He'd go off by himself. And it was his job then to basically to prove that he could live on his own. But this first stage, this separation, this is where before this he's a member of society, has a very clear role. And at the separation stage, he stops being with the society. Often there's a physical separation. Hey, I'm no longer here with you. I am splitting off from you in some way. A baptism is a good example. A lot of religions baptize what we call by immersion, by immersing the person in water. When they go down, they separate. Everyone else stays above the water. It's not like everybody dunks themselves together or goes swimming together or something, so that one person separates themselves from everyone else. So obviously, this step is called separation. The second step is called liminality. This is where the person functions for a while. I mean, it could be very fast, like the baptism example, or it can be very long. So the Shoshone, while the young man was alone, he would learn how to play his flute. He would come out, he would have to carve it, to have to create it, and then he would have to teach himself how to play it well. He'd practice, and of course, in this step, he lives for weeks up in the wilderness by himself. So he's living on his own. Uh, he's he, the liminality stage is the stage where you are separate from the others. It's the stage where you're not really one thing and you're not really the other thing either. So at this stage, this liminality, the young Shoshone man is not a man. He's not an adult, but he's also no longer really a child. So what is he? He's kind of nothing. He's an in-between. And that's what liminality is. It's that stage where it's like, well, what am I? I'm not sure exactly what I am. Okay, so then you get reincorporated. So in the case of the Shoshone, when the young man returns home, he's an adult. He's a full member of the tribe and has all of the benefits that a full member of the tribe has. They listen to him when he speaks. He can participate in their councils. He can communicate more effectively with them, and basically has a voice. So this we call reincorporation. So we had the separation where they split apart, liminality when they're kind of in limbo, liminality, limbo, and then there's reincorporation when they rejoin the group. Now, let's do it again. Let's talk though about a wedding. So a lot of times people wonder, is there a separation? Well, when does this separation really begin? Is it when you're affianced? Is it when you're trying on dresses and wedding cakes? Or is it when you actually start walking down the aisle? We could debate this. We could debate this endlessly if we really wanted to. But the key thing here is that there's some point where you're no longer really single. You're no longer really married either. So is being a fiance the liminality stage? I don't know. When does liminality end? Is it when the preacher says man and wife? Man and wife. Who knows? Well, actually, we could argue about this, and lots of people have their own theories. But what do you think? Put it down on your paper. Liminality. When is that stage when you are in a wedding separate from the others? And then you get reincorporated, where you're definitely married. We have ceremonies for that. I mean, other cultures had ceremonies for it too. We have the traditional dance between the bride and the groom. Are they brought back together then? Are they reincorporated when he kisses the bride? Are they reincorporated at the wedding reception when someone clinks the glass and they kiss? Or is it when they drive off in the car that says just married? I never noticed before, but who is driving in this picture? There's a problem here. They're not gonna last very long. So now I want you to try it on your own. Let's use graduation as an example to inspire you. I have this beautiful photograph taken just a few sweet years ago of Box Elder High School's graduation. Now, at what stage will you be separated? And then you go through your liminality. When is that? And then when's your reincorporation? When do you come through and rejoin all of us and become an alumni? One of many alumni. And so, to give you a quick recap, a rite of passage is a special kind of ritual that helps you undergo a passage from one stage in your life to the next stage in your life. There's 3 steps to it. There's the separation from society, liminality, where you're not really the old thing and you're not really the new thing yet. And then there's reincorporation, where you rejoin society as your new role and place.